So I'm going to do something. Tell me if you feel it. Ready? Okay, I'm going to pinch this really hard. Really? Can you feel that? Can you? Wait, hold on. I got another question. See this water? I just left the gym. See this water? So thirst quenching. Did it quench your thirst? Probably no to both of those questions. And that's the same with holding a grudge, baby. You're sitting there holding a grudge and going, yes, suffer. They're not suffering. Drink your own poison. You're drinking the poison going, you're not dying. Like, you've got to stop thinking that holding a grudge is doing you some big favor. It's not. Now, listen, these people don't have to have access to you. Nobody has to have access to you, right? Nobody's saying, well, just release the grudge and then like go back to like everybody just doing whatever. That's not what I'm saying. See, that might be what you hear in your head, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the more that you are holding on to a grudge, that you are, I'm so mad and blah, 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 blah. The more you hold on to that, you are damaging yourself. The other person or persons are not being damaged by this. And then it turns into hurt for you. You might run around smearing people's name. You might say, well, I don't understand this. And why are you talking to them about this person? Like, why are you trying to include other people in your business to try to get them on your side so then you can justify yourself for holding this grudge? There's zero reason to hold a grudge. People say that all the time. How did you like not hold on to the molestation and everything else that was in growing up? Because holding on to it would do what for me? It wouldn't protect me. I tried holding on to it. You'll read about that in the book if you get it when it comes out. I tried that. That didn't do anything but harm myself. That made every relationship it came with too many expectations. Believe me, I live that life and I can promise you, I bought the shirt and I do not recommend the trip, and do not do that because it is never going to benefit you. Holding a grudge carries zero benefits. Zero, not one, zero. All right. So what happens is your ego comes into play. You're hurt, right? So of course you're hurt. You're allowed to be hurt. Nobody's saying you're not allowed to have your feelings. No one's saying you're not allowed to have your feelings. Nobody else has to validate them but you when it comes to this grudge thing. Okay. And so what you have to remember is when you are in your mindset of like, well, F that person and I'm not going to do that. Okay. That's coming from a place of hurt. And it's also coming from your ego. Your ego goes, that person has to pay. I promise you, as much as you want to seek revenge, your girl did it. I used to go to clubs and just start fights for no reason when I was 20 years old. 20, 21. I had a fake ID. Just go and just start fights because I was so angry. Somehow or another, it was my right to beat people up. Why? Because I didn't have any idea on what to do and how to do things, right? Like in my mind, it was just the world owed me something. And I didn't realize that at the time. I was 20, 30, 40, 50, like 30 some years ago, right? So you have to remember that when you're holding a grudge, you also are holding misery inside of yourself, and it is being projected onto other people, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, whether you're intentional with it. If you're constantly in a negative headspace, you will constantly be emitting negative energy. If you're constantly worrying and stressing and overthinking things on this grudge, well, anything, but also on this grudge, well, they got to pay and they got to do that. The revenge is not going to help you. And from an energy perspective, and if you guys don't know, I have almost 96,000 hours, right, of teaching mindfulness, meditations, and manifestation. The universe will never, and I don't use those words much, give you abundance and peace when you're holding a grudge. Does not work that way. The universe does not go, damn, Beth was wronged. We're going to make sure we give her extra stuff. Does not work that way. The universe does not work on emotion. And so what you got to remember is what you're aligning with is more of what you're going to get, because the universe sees that as, oh, wow, this is really what they align with. Cool. The universe there's not pick and choose. It's, wow, energy breeds energy. That's it. Positive in, positive out. Negative in, negative out. That's the facts. That's how it works. Zero emotion. And so, which is why practicing Buddhism is very, very helpful for me, because they teach you that, right? Like, it's very like, hey, you're disconnected from the anger. You feel it, you process it, you release it. And if you go, well, I don't know how to release it, that's your ego. Go to my Ego Death series here on YouTube. If you go to the playlist and look under Ego Death series, there's like, I think 5, like maybe 10-minute videos, and you can watch them in succession. You can listen to the podcast on it too. And an important factor that you need to remember about when you're holding a grudge, right, is you're expecting this other person to take accountability. Okay? Valid. If you're like, hey, if we're going to have a relationship, you're going to have to take some accountability. I got it. But let me explain this to you on the highest levels. Think of, okay, so let's do this together. Think of, I don't know, somebody that wronged you. I don't care if it was in your childhood. I don't care if it was last week. But I mean, don't make it little. Don't make it like, oh, they cut me off. That's not what I mean. Make it go to a deep trauma. Okay. Now, if that person came up to you and said, I'm really sorry. Could you leave it at that? And would you leave it at that? I'm really sorry. Yeah, but what? Now you're going to move the goalpost. But why did you do it? Because I felt like it. Let's say that was the answer. Because I felt like it. Maybe they did. Is that going to make you feel better? See, you got to keep thinking. You got to keep reminding yourself that the answer you think you want may never come. And I've experienced it myself, but I've had tons of clients go, wow, I even got the apology and the why, and it didn't help me. Like I actually was more upset about it because there's never going to be an answer that you're seeking. You're not really seeking the I'm sorry. You're seeking somehow to make people tell you that it's not your fault. But even if they tell you it's not your fault, you're not necessarily going to believe them. So this is why every human being on this planet is flawed. Me, you, everybody else on here. We've all screwed up. We're all going to continue to screw up at times. It's just how life works. We will hurt people. We will be hurt. That is, again, how the world works. And you got to stop falling in love with this fantasy idea of we're going to have a super tight relationship and become best friends. I just went on 3 dates. They were great. Oh my God, love this person. Can't wait to marry them. Like, calm down. That goes into attachment. Go to my attachment series here on YouTube as well. And so what you need to remember is when you're holding the grudge, to release it is to release the idea of how you wanted it to be. Release the idea and learn from it. It's not about blame. You're not blaming yourself, but you do got to learn from it. You do have to be self-aware. So you learn and you go, wow, okay, I think this happened because I didn't have a lot of boundaries. I think I was given too much of myself. Again, it's not blame, it's awareness. You can't change anything unless you're in self-awareness. And it's so important that you do that. Because without self-awareness, you're not going to have, we're all flawed. Lean into your flaws. Know what they are. Embrace them. Love them. They're a part of who you are. Right? They're just a part of who you are. You don't have to don't use it as an excuse and be like, well, I'm just flawed. Okay, well, we'll need to use it as an excuse. That's not where we are. Okay. But I want you to be in the space of accepting that and knowing that when you release it, you're really releasing the connection to how you wanted it to be and why you were hurt by the fact that it wasn't that way. It's essentially what you got to release. And that is lowering down the ego, feeling your feelings and learning from it without judging yourself, without going, how stupid am I? What's wrong with them? Let's not do this. Sure. This person cheated. That has nothing to do with you. But what you learned is, were you putting too much of yourself in that person? It's ego bruising for anybody, period. But were you putting so much emphasis on that relationship that you were neglecting yourself, right? This isn't about even what they did. It's never your fault what they did. So it's and don't let people tell you it is, because it isn't. But were you investing too much time in this? Did you lose yourself in this relationship and then that happened and then you felt more betrayed, right? So if that's the case, then what you've learned from it is, well, let me put up walls. But let me not lose myself again. Let me go back and find myself because I put too much of my happiness and joy into this other person. So that's why when the rug was pulled out, which in general, like I said, it's going to be ego bruising. But when it was pulled out, that's why sometimes it's that much harder because it didn't go the way you thought it was going to be and stuff like that. So again, circling back to the top, you can't hold on to something and think that it's going to affect other people, right? And it might in the interim, right? It's only going to affect you. Nobody is staying in bed at 2:00 in the afternoon, maybe then too, 2:00 in the morning going, I wonder if they're holding a grudge against me. No, they're sleeping. They're chilling. They are sleeping. And that's the key. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. We all just need to have a little bit more self-awareness and more emotional maturity and work on handling our emotional regulation. And sometimes we have things that doesn't make that easy. And that's okay. That's why there's medication. That's why I am here. Book a session with your girl. Talk to your therapist. Do all of these things. These are all important factors for you. You don't have to do it by yourself, but stop trying to think that if you hold the grudge, it's going to hurt somebody, because I promise you it will only ever harm you.